Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the third video of the Quant Edge 4-week coaching program discussing actionable signals. As you read through the disclaimer, it's important that all the things that we have gone through in the previous two videos, that you begin to look at charts to see all these various actionable setups. You will see them all over the place, as well as it's important to start speaking the language. And by that, I mean, when you look at any chart, to start speaking in, it's still inside if it's forming. It's an inside bar once it has, right? Potential rev strat to the upside or the downside. All these things to speak in this language so we can try and eliminate opinions and subjectivity as soon as possible. So what we've gone through with candlestick formations, when you say, what do you see? You can say, I see a hammer. I can see a momentum hammer, right? Being mindful that if it has not closed, it is presently nothing.
Exactly.
Again, with the inside bar, it is either forming the inside bar, has formed and closed, is now an inside bar, all right? Forming rev strat is rev stratting. That's how we're going to speak. Time, how much time we have until the bottom of the hour, the flip. That's going to be a new 60-minute, which we'll get into the next series. Looking for combinations across several time frames, all right?
Boom.
So when you look at the several time frames, you can describe those in the conditions that we've been going through. What do you see? Still inside month, rev strat week. Start speaking, thinking that way, seeing things that way, and then speaking the language. The potential of a measured move. Do I see an actionable signal after a powerful move? Right? And all the importance of time. But for right now, let's get to the chats. What we want to do here is go back in time just a little bit so we can see, so I can show you how this is not about asset classes. This is about price action.
You dig?
Anything that trades, right, is going to trade within the realm of the three universal truths because it's impossible for them not to.
Exactly.
This is USO representing crude oil. And if we go to the month,
your three universal truths is your inside bar, which is you'll hear it be called your equilibrium, or you have your two directional bar, which is two up or two down, right? Because the bar can only go inside, or there's only three things that it can do: go inside, go outside, right? Outside bar meaning engulfing bar, or it can go directional bar, tradable.
here, we break it down. Remember this big drop and then this here. That's a variation measured move. We won't get into this one, but what you'll see here is that inside month right here, the inside month, which caused the next break, the next significant break. So here, equilibrium on the inside bar. It goes in force when it breaks it below 1923 and got absolutely clobbered from there. If we break it down to look for the combination that would have gotten us in before that break. Now remember, once it breaks and it's in here this whole month, we were able to look for reconfirmation signals on the way down because it was in force. If we go to the weekly. Further back for you.
You do?
If we go to the weekly, when that occurred, this was an inside week break to the downside, 2-bar inside weekly, shooting stars. When these two triggered to the downside, the weekly group triggered the monthly group, participation group, very important combination, which gave us the see you later, bye, goodbye oil, right? If we go to the S&P spider on a monthly basis, what have we seen in the past, most recently here?
Please don't get confused when you see all his lines. They're not trend lines or any of that. They're all Browning formation, and it looks that way because they're all being drawn from different time frames. So when you go to a different time frame, it starts to look a little bit different. However, when you know what you're doing and you're drawing these Browning formations, you know exactly where price is going to, right? It's just about identifying with the universal truths and also my universal truth, which I'll be doing a class on and making it very, very simple on how to trade and how I know where the price is always going. And that'll be coming to you here soon, most likely next week sometime.
We go back to the S&P, what you're going to see here is a big drop here. Inside month, very important, inside month. The inside month to break to the upside. Remember that was August 2015, get pounded. So what will occur when you have these big moves like this? The lack of actionable signals an exhaustion of the move, because actionable signals are what causes price to move. So when we have big moves like this that wipes out where we have almost no actionable signals, what we can expect is inside bars to begin. And that will start with the shortest time frame first. We will see inside 60s turn into inside days, turn into inside weeks, and inevitably the inside month, which we got. We had the inside.
So when I heard Rob say that, that's why Moody started to focus on the smaller time frames. Why? Because he already mastered the 60 up, like mastered it, right? So me knowing that I'm going to continue studying you and you're one of my mentors, why not study because it works on any time frame, what you're not mastering from the 1 all the way to the 60. And now after 3 years, now I can trade from the 5 second to the 1 minute.
Month break to the upside at this point, and at that point it was a simultaneous break as almost everything was triggering to the upside. Very beautiful move. Almost everything. We had another decline, then inside bar hammer on the monthly. Hammer goes in force above here. Very powerful move here in the S&P. As we start coming up into here, right, the moment.
And one thing I'll note about Rob, these are long-legged dojis. However, I love Rob because he simplifies things for his own eyes and to be able to help people, right? Because this is a hammer, this is a long-legged doji. I'm a candlestick whisperer. These are dojis, right? However, once I started identifying why he would do this, it's because the body of the candlestick is up over 50% of the price action. Note that I call the candle the price action because that's what that is, right? The price action is just the opening, the close, the low, and the high. Price action. You put them together, they create patterns. Don't let that go over your head, right? So these are hammers, even though they're long-legged dojis, because we speak in our language, right? Because these are actionable for us, actionable for us, actionable for us, right? This one, however, even though it's actionable, it was actionable to the downside. And that's why it broke to the downside. They got stronger because of full time frame continuity. I'm gonna go to the chat before I let it keep playing. Repeat that, please. You mean back up what Rob was saying?
Momentum hammer.
I got you. Let me go back to the chat before I play it. Now what you were saying. Oh, that these are dojis. This is a long-legged doji. Um, come on, come on. I just had it. Just do it like this. It's always better like that. They're gonna give you a whole description. Yep, there we go. Need that image. I go to the chat before I keep speaking. Yeah, I should repeat Rob too, please. Yeah, no worries. So when looking at these are long-legged dojis, right? And you see how they even call this a dragonfly doji? Truly, you can represent it to be that. We're representing it to be because it's still actionable. These are actionable signals, right? We're still representing that to be a hammer, right? Hammer, pin bars, things of that nature. He likes the terminology hammer more than pin bar. However, right, just note that it's like a cross, right? And you still have a wick up high, right? So if I was to click this one, this is why you want experts and people that know exactly what they're talking about so you can understand. This is truly what a dragonfly is. However, this picture right here to the left where my mouse is at and I keep circling, right? You can represent that as a dragonfly as well, and also as a hammer or also as a pin bar, right? It just depends on how big that body of the candlestick is, right? However, dragonfly dojis are always going to be like this for me, but we can look at them like this as well. Why? Because time is subjective, right? Like if we look at this one here, right? Time is subjective, right? And hey, it had a little bit extra time and it pushed up before it came down and it closed right where it had opened up at. So you just have to be able to identify with that. And I understand now that that's not common sense. That's something that has to be taught. That's something that has to be said because you're going to be on YouTube, Google, Instagram, and you're going to be seeing a lot of different types of things, right? Where I can go to this one and you see they're calling this a dragonfly. I just showed you exactly what a dragonfly is, and you can also go to my YouTube channel and I literally have the descriptions on dojis because dojis are very important. Those are indecisions in the market, right? However, you can start simplifying those and not turn them into another candle. However, like we was just mentioning, they're hammers, right? Or pin bars as well. And this is where I got the terminology of long-legged, and it's just because it was long-legged. Now let's pull up that. I pray that makes sense.
Weeks and inevitably the inside month, which we got. We had the inside month break to the upside at this point, and at that point, it was a simultaneous break as almost everything was triggering to the upside. Very beautiful move, almost everything. We had another decline. Then inside bar hammer on the monthly.
Ooh.
Hammer goes in force above here. Very powerful move here in the S&P. As we start coming up into here, the momentum hammer from the Brexit triggers above that, right? So you can see this over and over and over again in history. If we remember.
So know how he's talking to you about actionable signals, about inside bars, about momentum hammers, because these are the things that move the market, right? Actionable signals, it moves the market, moves the market. Actionable signal, it moves the market, right? I have my universal truth that moves the market, and I have not been wrong, and the chart never lies about it, right? As well as when you see the Momo hammer, that's just abbreviation for momentum hammer. You see the psh, smack out going into another smaller, larger broadening formation that was drawn up higher, right?
Last year, going back to the weekly, to start off last year, here, this was the end of last year. What do you see here? Inside bar, countered by shooting star. Remember how badly we got clobbered to start off the year in 2015. Why? Because it started off the year as a rev strat to the downside weekly.
So I'm gonna teach you how to research somebody. First of all, you're seeing his chart. You're seeing we're priced at S&P 500. So you know how long ago You know? And then he's telling you 2015, right? Was you in the market in 2015? I know I wasn't, right? So those are things that you can put into place when you start to learn from someone. And also the language that they're using, being able to see their experience.
It was also a simultaneous break. QQQ, RevStrat Weekly to open the year. This RevStrat Weekly on the gap triggered a simultaneous break as almost every signal was triggering red on the month, the week, the day, the 60, the broader averages across the board. Did we expect that once this gap down? Yes, we did. So you can see systematically, you can walk through all this stuff, and going back, you will see all this. If we go to different asset class, the British pound, dollar pair, right? You might recall a while back they talked about a flash crash in the pound. Now, we talk about setups and probability. It's important to remember that we don't predict anything. We look for the setups, gauge magnitude, right? And as they trigger, and as you'll see as we get to the broadening formation series, if anything goes wrong at certain points, there are places where there's a lot of actionable signals where markets can be very vulnerable, right? Doesn't mean it's going to crash. It means if they're vulnerable to certain conditions. If you look at the British pound here, right before the said flash crash, they called it, was there a setup there that potentially was going to make that happen? There was. Here's the monthly, right? So inside bar goes up and outside of the month, comes back in for the potential rev strat. Where are the known pivots for this? 1, 2, 3. If we go back to the weekly, when that occurred,
And when he said pivots, understand that he's also talking about targets.
inside week, the inside week break, or the weekly participation group, triggered the rev strat monthly group, the two largest groups. Wham, right? Now they can say it's electronic. You can say whatever you want. What you will see over time is that these type of setups can be very powerful when things tend to move further, or when we see these combinations, because actionable signals are what causes the price to move. If we go to the SPY right now, all right, inside week, and if we go to the monthly, still inside month. This is for this reason, right? You start by looking at a monthly chart. Most people won't do that, right? Is the monthly doing anything? When we get to time frame continuity, do you have green? But we are still inside. Remember, we're going to speak this language, still inside. That is a problem. So far as we know, it's still consolidating. And what this will help you do when you start at the longer term time frames is avoid something I call the vortex of the intraday chart, right? What that means is if you go down to a 1 minute chart and you're trying to figure out what direction this is going, it's going up. No, it's going down. No. Oh, no, okay, it's really going down. No, it's going up. No, it's going down. This is what consolidating looks like in a 1 minute chart. If we break that down just a little bit more, you'll see these moves on a 5 minute chart can look gigantic because they're going completely from one side of the chart to the other. Part of the problem, part of the vortex is how software draws charts. What they do is how it is configured is when things are really slow, the bars will seem bigger. They will be drawn larger, right? This is a perception problem.
Please pay attention to this. So when I do my class on, I don't know what I'm gonna name it, knowing your range, knowing how much money you can make off the chart just by looking at candlesticks. Please pay attention to this part.
So we solve this by making sure that we start on the monthly chart and speaking the language. Is it doing anything? It's still inside. What's it doing on the weekly? It's inside. Is it something we want to be trading? No. All right. So that's how we try and avoid the vortex. So we've got the inside week to start off the SPY this week. Here's a few of the setups that you could follow along with, and we'll see how it goes. All right. We'll follow along when we get back on Wednesday. Inside week for the SPY. All right. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, what do we see here for the week? I'm sorry. We always start at the month, don't we, Rob? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do, Rob. Get it right,
For the
Rob.
month, still inside month. Now, if it's not going to be an inside month, perchance an actionable signal would do it. Do we have one? Oops. Potentially. Inside bar, countered with hammer. Rev Strat set up weekly Dow Jones Diamonds to start off this week. The Rev Strat and the Diamonds goes.
And let me help you just in case when he's changing time frames, please stop. Let me not say that. Let me not assume that you're looking over here to the left. Look at this only over here, because this when he's breaking down the candlestick. Say if it's just one big candlestick and you see that we're talking about that and we're saying inside, or he's saying inside or two up or something of that nature. When it breaks down, it's going to be all the way to the right.
Was in force of 198.65. Take a look at the small cap, IWM, monthly, still inside. Let's go to the weekly. What do we see here? What did we discuss before? Multiple inside bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars.
That's what you call chop. You get chopped.
Is that something we want to be involved in? No. Take a look at how the daily would play out in a situation like that.
Nasty.
It's going up, it's going down. It's going up a little bit. No, it's going down.
Nasty.
Down, no up, no down. All right, you can see the up. This is how we can identify something we want to avoid. All right, still inside.
So I'm gonna give you a gem. So when you're hearing somebody break something down like that, and then you have understanding of the Greeks, you know what the next person is saying now. So if they said that they've been trading that, right, and they've been profitable, you know that they're lying to you because you have theta involved into it as well. And now he's showing you the daily chart and what that will end up looking like. And he came from a monthly to really show you what's been happening, right? Down to a weekly chart as well, into the 60.
Side. 7 weeks inside the weekly bar and an inside month. Take a look at some of the Dow components. You see Merck. Right? Merck, inside month, would break above 63.03. It's been there. All right. It is also inside momentum hammer. So this week, we want to see if this momentum hammer can re-break and cause a combination of the weekly monthly. If we go to Walmart, retail has been weak. We have reason to believe we would be looking short side in the Walmart. Yes, we do. Walmart is presently rev strat to the downside, monthly, which means we have all month. Make sure you can see it. We have all month. Had all month to look for other additional setups. Inside bar equilibrium attempted, failed. Rev strat triggers and goes in force below here. 1, 2, 3. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Give me that money.
Kroger. Still an inside month. When something is still inside, remember previously, we can expect rev strats because it's still consolidating. Kroger, rev strat setup. Inside week, countered with a shooting star, would trigger below 34 to start off the week.
Pause the Moody, pause it, hurry up. You see how he called that a shooting star? No. Shooting star. It is. It's because he could read candlesticks. And he's not just reading this time frame. It's going to be on the other time frames too. Shooting star, regardless of the fact, he is simplifying it for himself. So he doesn't have to try to remember, oh, we got dojis, long-legged dojis, gravestone, morning star. Oh, well, that's not a doji, long-legged doji, gravestone, dragonfly, common doji.
Go to some of the refiners. What do we see here? PSX, momentum shooting star. Momentum shooting star would trigger below here. 82.58. We previously talked about simultaneous breaks, sector-wise. So if we take a look at PSX and then we pull it up against, say, Tesoro, inside weak, would go inside down.
Look, I'm so honest. I just picked up a gem because I don't go to TSO, right? And he just went from PSX. PSX is like XOM, right? CX, things of that nature, right? So now we know that we can go to TSO and not counter. However, look for confluence and things of that nature, right? However, let's listen to what Rob was saying. And I missed that the first time. Why? Because I'm learning the candlesticks. I'm learning the strat. That's why when you rewatch things, you continue to learn, you continue to learn, and you continue to learn.
And momentum shooter, momentum shooting star below 79.74. And we're seeing that in a similar stock, in a similar sector. So that tells us we can watch all of the stocks versus each other in that sector. We go to SIG, Signet Jewelers. We go to the monthly. Presently, it is inside month to the downside. All right. That equilibrium was triggered below 90.83. It's presently $10 lower. All right. $10 lower this month. All right. So anytime it was below here, we can look for reconfirmation signals. Shorter term time frames.
Gems.
This week, momentum shooting star here. See if we can continue. The low, 79.66. We put both of those in force, right? The hopes, the measured move, the down, rest, half. So those get that combination going.
Shout out to Jay.
Look at McKesson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks in this bars range. Is that something we want to be trading?
Absolutely. Yeah. Unless you know how to use the 50 bit.
If you go to the monthly, if it's going to break out of here, if it's going to take an attempt at that, the condition it would be in is inside month and up, which it would be above 148.59, which it is. All right. Now we'll get to that when we get to time frame continuity, but it's not untradeable. It's avoidable while it's doing this. All right, but you always want to make sure that when you're seeing those inside bars that are in the middle of a huge range, we can expect those multiple setups.
Yeah.
If we go to IBB, here we see the inside month, the attempt to the upside, and now coming back into the range. So it'd be potentially two things: re-break of the inside bar to the upside, re-triggering above 276.13, or potentially one bar rev strat by taking this out in one bar. That'd be 261.65 for a one bar rev strat there.
At 8 o'clock, I'm taking the
Also,
phone.
multiple.
I'm not even gonna ask you.
Not
No,
a
I said general, I can get on there myself.
strats if this is not strong enough to get out of there, right? So we can use this information to break down the stocks in the IBB, right? What is this telling us when this is occurring, right? So if we look at Celgene, similar, multiple bar pattern, inside month to the upside. If it was going to get out, this was its chance. Potentially one bar rev strat downside, like the IBB, and a high probability of staying inside of this because this is a large move. But here or here makes it actionable. If we go and break it down on a shorter term time frame, you can see how trouble could be expected. This bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bars, 10 weeks completely inside of there. If we go to SCMP, this was a nice combination here as things weakened.
Mm-hmm.
As the IBB began to come in,
Take it to the
Rev
monthly though,
Strat,
because all that's inside, Rob.
inside bar,
Yeah.
attempt, shooting star back in. Rev Strat's below here, 1, 2, 3 levels to take out.
Mm-hmm.
Combination,
Yeah, take it to the monthly.
inside
Yeah.
month to the downside.
Exactly.
All right. As the IBB gave it
Straight
up
to
here,
structure.
go to IBB. Once again, had initial push up, and as it started to drop back in,
Straight to structure.
all right, started to weaken. That tells us we want to look for things that are weak.
Mm-hmm.
Perigo. Inside month to the downside. Below.
That's very important to note, right? Grab things. I'm gonna rewind it so you can hear the goat say it, right? You want to start when you see a sector. I'm gonna say it this way: when you see a sector, because he said it his way. When you see a sector weak, right, or like say Nvidia is weak, go to the sector. Go see what else. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not looking for puts or anything. I'll take a day off for that. However, even if on a bullish side, right? If you see that sector weak, you could trade the sector because the sector is cheaper, or go into the sector, right? I'll do a class on it again. Where I'll truly break it all the way down bar charts, right? There's only a few websites that I mess with, and I really mess with them for certain gems that they provide. However, in bar charts, you go to bar charts, look at the heat map, right? Don't go to FinViz, right? I like FinViz for like only news. That's the only thing. Like I'm not a scanner kind of person or anything, because I know FinViz provides a lot of things of that nature. I look at FinViz just for news, right? However, Twitter's gonna get the news first. They have a heat map there as well. I'm not really too fond of their heat map. They give you a percentage and things of that nature. However, we're gonna get a percentage on bar charts, right? Um, However, you're going to be able to see like the three sectors, you know what I'm saying, that are winning, and you're going to see the last three sectors that are losing. Whereas like you can start to manipulate certain things where now, okay, cool, these are weak right here. Let's see if they're wanting to get stronger. Let's see if we got some actionable signals to take up, or if they're giving us some actionable signals to continue to move down, right? And vice versa on the charts. And you know, once you like truly understand like how to trade and things of that nature, is like how I just trade SPY is because most people like to trade SPY, and then SPY has a lot of volatility into it, right? I would like to trade NQ and things of that nature. However, not everybody trades futures, right? And it's more volatile and things of that nature. Futures is way more volatile, right? So let me check the chat before I press play here. And yeah, I believe I rewinded already. Appreciate you dropping that there. Yup, exactly. Yup, that's what it is. Bar charts for the heat map. Yeah. Big facts. Big facts. All right, give me a second.
Again, had initial push up, and as it started to drop back in, all right, started to weaken. That tells us we want to look for things that are weak. Perigo.
Start to look for things that are weak.
Inside month to the downside. Below 81.45. $6 move off of that. ENDP for the previous video. 1 bar Rev Strat. Here. If we go to TSRO, this is presently still inside month and up. Right? Should the IBB try and recover here? Right? Once again, I talk about confirmation or negation. Right? So we have this signal in force, right? So long as this month is above 143, this inside month up is at force. Now it's going to be challenged this week by an inside week.
My bad, Rob. You went
Right.
fast on that. Let me slow you down, bro.
So this is going to either
I can't even do that to them because I know that went
talk
over
about
their heads.
confirmation or negation.
Confirmation or negation. He was not talking about that, but he is talking about that. When he's saying that this is enforced, he's circling this. He's talking about this candlestick. It is enforced, right? Since it passed its trigger, right? And because it's an actionable signal as well. However, it's the combos of the strat. This is a 2-1-2 continuation to the upside, right? Not a reversal or anything of that nature. Inside, right? We went two up, two up. Let's bring you all the way right here, right? Right here, we went two up. This one still went two up, two up, two up, two up, two up. Inside, consolidation, waiting. This is people taking profits, things of that nature, right? A little bit of imbalancement going on smaller time frames, things of that nature. All right, cool. Boom. That finishes that month. Boom. Now we're in this month. Smash them straight through, right? And he's saying as long as the body of this candlestick stays above your trigger, it's still enforced.
All right. So we have this signal in force, right? So long as this month is above 143, this inside month up is in force. Now it's going to be challenged this week by an inside week. All right. So this is going to either reconfirm what we know, inside week and up, inside month and up above here, or weaken down, which is countering the month. Yeah. Okay. If we go back to our buddies on Facebook, once again, to start off this week, we want to see this reconfirms. Inside
Facebook.
Presently inside month and up. 2-bar pattern. Still hasn't gotten out of here. Right? So the possibility of dropping back in still exists, not trending on a multi-month case. However, if it goes up, potentially measured move off of here. Inside week, inside month and up combination to take that out. Amazon. Inside week. Presently. Inside month. In force. Above 782.46. Google. Green on the month, no actionable signal. Inside week for the Google. So this becomes actionable above or below this. So for this week, we want to know Google below 823.20 setups to do that, or that actual break, or above 832.99, or setups to combinations to take that out. That's what we would be looking for. We go to Symantec, SYMC, monthly, and I'm going to take this out because there's some good examples in here. All right, when I say when you start to look at all the charts the way we are seeing them, I want you to keep practicing in your mind, looking back and seeing all the signals as they are, right? And you'll see this down move here. You'll see this inside month. A go, go, go. You'll see this momentum hammer, all right? You'll see this inside month shooting start down, all right? You'll see this inside bar break, not be strong enough here to take that out. Set up the Rev Strat month, the bullish Rev Strat month. Hammer counters the inside bar. Goes in force above the hammer. 1, 2, 3, all taken out in 1 month. Inside month, measured move. 1 sideways. Here, consolidate. Inside month to the upside. All right. So you can see when you keep practicing and looking at things our way, you're going to see this all the time.
All the time.
Price action should not be rare. When people are looking for elusive patterns, shouldn't be like that. It isn't anymore. We see these things the way they really are, quantifiably, for actionable signals. We go to similar names. Hasbro, still inside of the month. So potentially expecting Rev Strats. Potential Rev Strat week set up to the downside. Tried to take the inside momentum hammer up, retraced, forms the shooting star countering the inside bar. We're also seeing that in Mattel. Similar stocks, similar setups. If we go to VECO, Vico Instruments, what do we see here? For 1, here, 1 bar Rev Strat weekly back up. up in here, inside bar, the one bar becomes 2 bar, right? It took the downside, then took the upside, forms the shooting star next to the inside bar.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's a rev strat. Actionable signal follows the inside bar. Rev strat's below here, goes in force below 2860, comes down. If you go to TTWO on the weekly, you're going to see this one here too. Right here. Inside weak, countered by shooting star. Rev strats below here, goes in force below 4450. You can see nice move down there. If we go to FTNT, go to the monthly.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
We have Rev Strat month to the upside presently.
Yeah.
Inside bar, counter with the doji hammer back inside, goes in force above here, 34.94. Now goes inside weak. This will reconfirm or negate that move.
Yeah.
It goes above here, 32.74. It would be inside weak to the upside, Rev Strat month to the upside.
Correct. Yeah.
And we can look for reconfirming signals on shorter term timeframes.
Yeah.
Combination. If we go to Buffalo Wild Wings, inside bar breaks, not weak enough to take out the mother bar, comes back, Rev Strat.
Yeah.
This would be Rev Strat weak, above 150, 145.
Yeah.
Looking for the 1, 2, 3. Goes in force above that, right? When we get into time frame continuity, this will be important. It's still red on the month. Question is, can we turn that back green with the actionable signal? For right now, stay on the actionable signals. Potential Rev Strat weak, Buffalo Wild Wings. We go to Target. Monthly, inside month and down. Here, still in force. If we go to the weekly, set the inside weak to the downside here to start moving. But if we go back to that monthly, the important part of this one is we've been watching this for a long time. The actionable signals still worked. You look at this. Inside month hammer goes up.
Goes at the 50.
Falls back down, right? Now the inside month drops to the downside. But you can see how it goes up, down, up here, and then back down.
Right.
Could we expect that every new month? We can.
Yeah.
Because this is the mother bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months completely within this bar's range.
That last month.
It's going to break out of there. Actionable signal caused it to happen. Here. If we go to Cigna CI, start off this week. Inside month to the upside is in force.
I was about to say that.
So long as it's above 140.70.
Yeah.
Here. Had
Had
some news. Shook them up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Took them down hard and comes back up.
Mm.
Potential momentum hammer. If it goes above here, the momentum hammer goes in force above 146.31. At that point, it would be inside month to the upside, momentum hammer up weekly. If we go to the daily, inside day. So potentially, you could be looking for inside day up, inside the daily participation group triggers the weekly participation group, which reconfirms the monthly participation group. So we can keep an eye on all this stuff during the week.
Yeah.
And we will have a conversation on Wednesday, and we can look at all the actionable signals at that time and see what's working.
Yeah.
Most importantly, you want to continue to speak the way I'm speaking when we see something.
Facts.
When you see something, you say Rev Strat month, right? We don't say good, bad. We speak in the language that I'm teaching you. Quantitative analysis based on the universal truths of price action. So once again, we've studied the candlestick formations that are actionable signals, but not universal truths. The inside bars that are still inside, considered still inside while that bar is live until it closes, forms the equilibrium, then it becomes actionable.
Oh, I didn't mean to pause that.
The rev strats, the countering of those inside bars, that the reversal is a reversal of the equilibrium of the inside bar. The importance of the flip, the bottom of the hour, and how we can have the only time of the day that a longer term actionable signal can form.
Oh, let me pause it, my bad. I didn't see the chat. Damn, I love it. Oh, okay, awesome.
Form and trigger. The importance of combinations, looking for through the different actionable signals across participation groups, the monthly group, the weekly group, the daily group, the 60, and then down to the intraday.
You heard him?
We've begun to start to look what
I'm gonna rewind it.
looks like.
I'm gonna rewind it.
The importance of combinations, looking for through the different actionable signals across participation groups, the monthly group, the weekly group, the daily group, the 60, and then down to the intraday. We've begun to start to look at what a measured move looks like, and we can continue with that when we get into further about the universal truths.
Thanks.
The importance of when things happen, and we're going to get into that more deeply as we move along. We've gone back in time to see how this has happened over and over again across several asset classes, because it's price action. It's not anything specific. Price has to work this way. So now
I'm just pause that. Do you hear he created the strat? Do you hear his terminology? Like sometimes, it's probably good to like, hold on, let me take the sentence that he said and let me identify and define each word and grab the meaning of each word so I can flow in rhythm with what he's saying. I'll rewind it just one more time because I know how important it is. And he's talking about, I'm gonna just let him talk.
How this has happened over and over again across several asset classes, because it's price action. It's not anything specific. Price has to work this way.
It's price action, not anything specific. And you see that he's only choosing, even though he's talking about combination, he's not talking to you about all the combinations of the strat. He's only choosing to talk to you about the rev strat. And not because this is important, it's because he's just talking to you about combination. He's talking to you about price action. Strat is part of the price act. Strat simplifies price action. The strat is not price action, right? I don't like to argue and debate with other stratters about it because it's price action. Like, bro, look, I learned from the person that created it. And he is the original because he's the one that created it. And like I mentioned earlier on live, and I'll say it right now, please mention, look, he's talking about 2015, right? Going back in time and things of that nature. I believe this course was about like 6 years ago, right? Super, super informational, right? To this day for you, right? So what I tell people is please keep in mind of the fact that he is a second generational Chicago stock floor trader. His dad is as well, right? So with us having that information, before he created the strat, right, it's on an interview that I was on. If I could recall correctly, the strat came to him as he was walking into church. His wife was in the hospital, and she wasn't doing well at the time. And he was just staying diligent and faithful in everything that he had to do. And he went ahead and went to church, even though he was trying to still figure out like his system. And as he was walking in church, he was just walking and he said, "Oh my God, it came to me 1, 2, 3, like boom, boom, boom." And he was just like, "Oh my gosh." And when he finished church, he went back home and he was able to discover and create what he created, right? However, that took him some time to be able to do that, right? So if he's a second generational trader and his dad was a day trader as well, and I don't want to just say day trader, that also trade on the stock exchange floor, right? don't you think that they were using EMAs, they were using patterns, they were using the same thing that everybody else is using, and they created what they did to simplify everything? Exactly, right? So that's why I also say price action is price action, right? Price action is the open, the close, the high, and the low of the candlestick. That's just what price action is. Once you start to put other price action together, they now start to become two candle patterns, right? They start to become where you have head and shoulder. Well, that's not just two, a few of them can create you a cup and handle, a head and shoulders, things of that nature. It's like if you're playing with Lego blocks and you're trying to create something with Legos, right? They're gonna be, even though the Lego is the size and shape that it is, you're able to cultivate and create something as your imagination sees it fit, right? So let me just let him finish real quick. My bad, I got long-winded.
So now look at charts, speak our language, speak the language of quant, right? Only in fact. What is the potential setup? What is in force? Being mindful that this is only one of the universal truths. Inside bars, actionable signals are the engines that drive price action. This is what causes things to move.
Yes.
However, it's important to remember this is only one. There are three universal truths.
So being is not to get excited because we see an inside bar. We get excited to see the next bar come out and it goes in force, regardless if it triggers or not, and it's a live candle and not closed, because now we can measure that move and take that move up. Make sense?
Every one of them matters when we are entering trades.
Or down.
So, that being said, I will see you again soon when we can discuss this and move further into time frame continuity and the broadening formations. This concludes the portion of actionable signals.
Bada bing, bada boom. And as I mentioned,
Hello, my friend.
oh,
This is
there go the
Rob
second
Smith
one.
at the end of
You know what?
Quant Edge VTF here.
I'm about to
TV
do this.
live with the Quant Edge 4-week coaching program.
I'm gonna just give you a
Week
taste
two,
of what
where we
next
begin
week
to
is
talk
going to
about
look like. I may
time
do
frame
it this week.
continuity.
Time frame
We
continuity.
talked about actionable signals. Now for week two, we're going to go into time frame continuity.
They're my favorite. They're my favorite class he did.
Use over the disclaimer here. As we continue to go on, the good thing about taking our time like this is you can always go back, get to those actionable signals, and then in this time we're going to talk about time frame continuity because we're going to start putting all three together, and that's going to be very important going forward. All three universal truths matter, no matter what you're thinking. It's being like I got it, Rob, and take the actionable signals. That's what causes price action to move. Everything matters, and we're going to put it all together slowly but surely. So when it comes to time frame continuity, we're going to have time frame participation.
You see that? Time frame continuity, participation, universal truths, opening price, the 4 C's of continuity, the importance of uncoupling. You see, a lot of people ain't going to talk to you about these parts of the Strat because this is the importance. This is what gives you the understanding, and then everything else makes sense because it's built in now. You're like, oh, got it. This is the process. This is the process, right? Not the system. The system is the Strat. This is the process. Everything works in system and processes, right? So yeah, this one, oh my God, and it's only what, like 23 minutes. This one's fire. I don't know. We may even run it tonight. Who knows? However, Zay, are you on here?
Yeah, I'm on here.
All right, awesome. All right, give me 1 second. Let me at least stay on schedule. Oh, what is he watching? All right, cool. I just put the message out. I'll say that we could start here in a few minutes. How you doing, Doze? Everything good with you, bro? Oh, let me stop recording. Well, I'll record it. Why not? Let me stop recording this and then record again. Give me a second.